Hello and welcome to That Was Golf. My name is Calum MacVicar. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of the Weekly Review, where each week we keep you up to date with many of the world's professional golfing tours. We start this week on the Corn Ferry Tour, where it was the Astara Chile Classic held at the Prince of Wales Country Club in Santiago, Chile. Winning here was Doc Redman. A first-time win for Doc Redman on the Corn Ferry Tour, with the American converting a 54-hole lead with a comfortable 5-shot cushion over Cooper Dosey and Michael Johnson in tied second. Redman moves up to 4th in the season standings and becomes the 4th first-time winner on the Corn Ferry Tour this year. On the PGA Tour of Australasia, it was a co-sanctioned event with the Japan Golf Tour this week. The ISPS Handa Japan Australasia Championship held at the Royal Auckland and Grange Golf Club in Auckland, New Zealand. Winning here was Travis Smyth. 7 players led or co-led the final round of the Japan Australasia Championship across the final round, with Australians Travis Smyth and Jack Thompson eventually finishing out on top on 15 under and into a playoff. It took 6 playoff holes for the two to finally be separated, with Smyth putting in his decisive birdie putt as the sun set over Auckland. Over on the JLPGA Tour, it was the Daikan Orchid Ladies Golf Tournament held at Raikyu Golf Club in Nanjo City, Okinawa, Japan. Winning here was Shuri Sakuma. In this season's opening fixture on the JLPGA Tour, Shuri Sakuma held off a late charge from Kana Nagai to secure her 6th win on the tour. Sakuma closed out a 54-hole lead which began with a scintillating round 2 score of 62-10 under par, which saw 10 birdies and no bogeys. On the Live Golf League, it was Live Golf Hong Kong, held at the Hong Kong Golf Club in Shengshu, Hong Kong. Winning here was Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm was back in the individual winner's circle on the Live Golf League, with a commanding victory that saw him finish 3 shots clear of early leader Thomas Dietrich, who was searching for a win on the tour in his debut season. Whilst Rahm continues to dispute with the DP World Tour over fines and playing obligations, his ability on the course was nothing to argue, with rounds of 66, 62, 65 and 64 at the par 70 course, leading to his 23 under par final tally. 4 aces won the team championship on a total of 58 under and 6 shots clear of Smash GC. The victory was largely helped by Belgian teammates Thomas Dietrich and Thomas Pieters, who finished 2nd and 3rd respectively on 20 and 19 under par. On the PGA Tour Champions, it was the James Hardie Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational held at the Old Course at Broken Sound Club, Boca Raton, Florida, USA. Winning here was Zach Johnson. On his PGA Tour Champions debut, Zach Johnson claimed his first victory on the tour and his first win as a professional since the Open Championship in 2015. Rounds of 70, 66 and 69 at the par 72 Old Course gave him a score of 11 under par and a comfortable 4-shot lead over last year's Schwab Cup winner Stuart Sink. On the Ladies European Tour, it was another co-sanctioned event with the Women's PGA Tour of Australasia. The Australian Women's Classic held at Magenta Shores Golf and Country Club in Magenta, New South Wales, Australia. Winning here was Kelsey Bennet. The final round at Magenta Shores faced hurtling winds, lashing rain and just a little bit of sunshine, making for minimal scoring opportunities at the Australian Women's Classic. Kelsey Bennet was one of only 3 players to post a score under par in the final round on her way to claiming her first victory on the Ladies European Tour. The back 9 of the final round was where Bennet managed to solidify her 4-shot lead over the field, shooting a trio of birdies on 13, 14 and 17, as playing partners and nearest competitors Megan McLaren and Kaylee McGinty struggled to keep bogeys off their scorecards. Final top 10 in Magenta was first place on 13 under and winning the tournament Kelsey Bennet. Tied second on 9 under, Megan McLaren and Kaylee McGinty. Solo 4th on 7 under was Trichat Chinglab. Solo 5th on 6 under was Diksha Dagar. Tied 6th on 5 under was Cassandra Alexander, Pia Babnik and Roberta Liti. Solo 9th on 4 under was Lily Mae Humphreys. And tied 10th on 3 under was Anna Huang, Nura Komulainen, Katerina Maulbauer and Alice Hewson. On the DP World Tour, it was the Joburg Open held at Houghton Golf Club in Johannesburg, South Africa. Winning here was Dan Bradbury. The Joburg Open was witness to some spectacular golf last week, as well as delays in round 2 due to thunder and lightning. All of the weekend's play would come down to events on the 72nd hole of play, which saw Dan Bradbury claim his third win on the DP World Tour and second Joburg Open title. Brandon Robinson-Thompson was first to lay down a marker for the field in the final round, setting the clubhouse target of 16 under par. The man with the hottest form on the DP World Tour right now, Casey Jarvis, matched Robinson-Thompson 16 under, hoping to make a playoff and potentially a third title on the DP World Tour in a row. In the final group of the day was Dan Bradbury, who had birdied his 71st hole of play to sit on 17 under par and one shot clear. However, a misjudged approach on the 18th meant a tricky up and down for par was needed to avoid a playoff. A very delicate and precise chip saved him any stress of further competition, as a tap-in par sealed victory once again in South Africa for the Englishman. On the way to the final round, Brandon Robinson-Thompson and Henny du Plessis both set course record rounds of 62, 8 under par. On the Nordic Golf League, it was the Infinitum Spring Series final held at the Infinitum Golf Club in Villaseca, Spain. Winning here was Lauri Ruska. An opening round of 64 5 under at the par 69 Hills course and a second round of 9 under 62 at the par 71 Lakes course meant that a final round of even par at the Lakes course was still more than enough of a comfortable cushion for the Finnish native Lauri Ruska to finish 3 shots clear of August Tor Host in second place, with Ruska shooting 14 under for the tournament and Host on 11 under. On the MENA Golf Tour, it was the Hilton Classic held at Al Huara Golf Club in Tangier, Morocco. Winning here was Pierre Pinau, gaining his first professional win since the Open de Portugal on the Hotel Planner Tour in 2022. Pierre Pinau shot rounds of 69, 70 and 67 to finish on a score of 10 under and 2 shots clear of fellow Frenchman Andoni Echenique in second place. The win sees Pinau move to third on the season's order of merit. Final top 10 in Tangier was first place and winning the tournament on 10 under, Pierre Pinau. Solo second on 8 under was Andoni Echenique. Solo third on 7 under was Paul McBride. Tied fourth on 5 under was Mark Power, Aaron Zemmer, Jacopo Vecchi Fossa and Curtis Knipes. Solo 8th on 4 under was Heiko Dana, and tied 9th on 3 under was Toby Hunt, David Rudd, Will Porter, Alex Maguire and Adam Saeed. The LPGA Tour concluded its Asian swing with a co-sanctioned event with the China Ladies PGA Tour, the Blue Bay LPGA at the Jian Lake Blue Bay Golf Course in Hainan, China. Winning here was Mi Hyang Lee. Mi Hyang Lee took out her third LPGA title despite making things very, very difficult for herself in the final round of play. Starting the final round with a 3-shot lead over the field, Lee's front 9 was less than ideal, with 2 birdies, 2 bogeys and 2 double bogeys, dropping her out of the lead and letting local favourite Weiwei Zhang close in. Fortunately for Lee, the back 9 proved a far more fruitful affair, with 3 birdies and 6 pars, with the crucial difference maker a birdie on the 72nd hole of play, to see her finish 1 shot ahead of Zhang, who had earlier made a bogey on her 71st hole of play to drop out of contention. In the final 2 matches of the regular season on the TGL, LA Golf Club beat New York Golf Club 6-3, whilst Jupiter Links beat the Bay Golf Club 9-6. The conclusion of the regular season now means that the teams facing off in the semi-final playoffs have been announced. Atlanta Drive will take on LA Golf Club, whilst Jupiter Links will take on Boston Common. Both matches are to be played on March the 17th. And we conclude this week's roundup with a pair of fixtures on the PGA Tour. The first being the Arnold Palmer Invitational, held at Arnold Palmer's Bay Hill Club in Orlando, Florida, USA. Claiming the trophy as well as the winner's red cardigan was Akshay Bhatia. Daniel Berger set the early pace in the tournament for the field to chase, laying down a bogey-free 9 under 63 at the par 72 course in round 1. However, that early blistering pace would soon slow down as he went 68, 72 and 70 across the next 3 rounds, and was slowly closed down by Akshay Bhatia, who shot rounds of 70, 66, 68 and 69, with a crucial eagle on his 70th hole of play helping him draw level with Berger and into a playoff to decide the match. Vatia would carry his momentum into the playoff and win with a par on the first extra hole. Akshay Vatia is now a 3-time winner on the PGA Tour, with every one of his 3 trophies being decided in a playoff. Also on the PGA Tour was the Puerto Rico Open, held at Grand Reserve Golf Club in Rio Grande, Puerto Rico. Winning here was Ricky Castillo. The Puerto Rico Open is hosted in parallel to the Arnold Palmer Invitational, which is a signature event and limited field entry. This allows other PGA Tour members who do not qualify for signature events to still earn FedEx Cup points and prizes. Ricky Castillo became a first-time winner on the PGA Tour, making weekend bogey-free rounds of 68 4-under and 67 5-under, which gave him a 1-shot lead over Chandler Blanchette and a 3-shot lead over Blades Brown, who both struggled to keep their scorecards bogey-free over the weekend. And for another week, that was golf. Thank you so much for listening into this episode. If you like what we do here at That Was Golf, be sure to check out our socials and give us a follow on there, as well as subscribing to the channel to stay up to date with all future episodes, released every Tuesday, 7 AM Australian Eastern Standard Time.